Yeah, 100%.
Exactly, Sandra. So can you imagine saying to somebody, not only do I sit in this person's room, but I've actually called into question whether somebody had a miscarriage or not. Do you know what I mean? Like, are you okay?
I asked them for proof. They needed to
and I
send me the
asked them
badger
for proof.
notes.
It's sorry, I'm just using that as an example, but it is absolutely wild. I quite believe she is Daniel. That's why so much of this side of the app intrigues me. I always refer to myself as an armchair psychologist with a Google degree. Do you know what I mean? The human behaviour and the way people act on this side of the app is so fascinating to me.
Jelly, can you just quickly explain for Sal in the comments what you meant by drinking the Kool-Aid? As she didn't quite understand what that meant, and I can't fit it in. I've tried to explain it in the comments, and I just can't fit it in.
Yeah, so it alludes to cult activity, and there was a cult leader that handed out all of his followers Kool-Aid that was poisoned, and everybody drank it. That's what Kool-Aid drinkers are, and we see that on the app. I'm sure it was Jim Jones.
Yeah, it's the Jonestown.
Yeah, have a look into it, Sal. It's really interesting. Jim Jones and Jonestown. It's like a really interesting thing.
They all drink the Kool-Aid apart from him, though.
Yeah, funny that.
Yeah.
But he
And
didn't
that's
know
why
himself.
you don't blindly follow nobody, everybody, because like the Jim Jones situation, everybody else drank the Kool-Aid but my guy there. So don't do it. Don't blindly follow anyone.
He didn't unalive himself. He just didn't drink the Kool-Aid.
But what I'm saying is that he didn't do what he was telling everybody else to do. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Skits is saying Heaven's Gate cult did it as well.
Yeah, that's another one. I think it's also really important to point out, like, I was someone that when I first joined the app, the creators' rooms that I fell into are not now some people that I morally align myself with. So I just think it's really important to also call out that if you fall into these people's like live streams and you find yourself becoming part of their community, and as you're listening and learning and kind of watching what's going on in these rooms and in these chats and in these discords, if you're noticing that there's people in there that you don't morally align yourself with or wouldn't in the real world, it is also okay to remove yourself from it.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's interesting because I do hear that a lot in here. People say that people that they followed and subscribed to and supported when they initially came on are not people that they align with now.
Exactly. And I think it's just because, like, if you go into someone's FYP show, for example, and you're just in there once a week, it's really, really easy for the kind of drama stuff and the beef between creators to go straight over your head. If you're just genuinely in there to look at the videos and to hear perspectives on videos and just to sit there and watch, then in the beginning, it is really easy for the context behind it all to go over your head. And as you spend more time in there and you begin to learn that context, either forcefully, unknowingly, or whatever, like I was sitting there in some people's lives and learning after I'd gifted them as well, I'd like to add too, thinking, hold on a minute, that's not right. I don't agree with you there. I don't like what the people in the comments are saying. I don't like the way that you're talking about so-and-so. It is okay to admit that and remove yourself from it and say that's not something I want to be a part of. It's not something that I want to align myself with as a person. You're allowed to do that. Just because you've been in there doesn't mean that you will have to stay there.
I agree with that, because I've done the same thing, especially when I've said in the comments, TikTok law is wild. It goes so much deeper than we realise. Like I've done the same thing, gifted people that I don't align myself with at all now, and it's because you're only seeing a snippet of their content if you're not fully invested in what's happening.
Do your due diligence on people.
Yeah, you really need to on this app.
And if it's your first time in, sorry, Mary, if it's your first time in here today, then your due diligence is, why has my gift target not been met? And why is my entire gift gallery not lit up? You ought to be ashamed of yourselves, a lot of you. But Therapeutic makes a really valid point, saying if you see someone showing a pattern of attacking others, then you are not immune to them attacking you.
Mm-hmm. And someone else said,
we all started off in like weird places. As I say, I started off in Canadian Angies as an FYP page. Wouldn't go near her now.
I come from the Canada side as well. Jelly, I Canada's biggest fan.
Yep.
and I've been
Oh,
blocked. I'm
yeah.
actually heartbroken. I'm gutted about it. I've
I
been
need to
crying all
message you
day.
about that.
Oh, I left hers ages ago.
I think it's really interesting as well. And I felt this too, people talk about a sense of disloyalty when you leave or you don't gift. You feel like if you start to remove yourself from that, it feels like you're being disloyal to the community that you've been a part of, or you're being disloyal to the creator, because it is as though you've been made a part of a community. That's the way that you kind of led to feel, that you are part of a community, you're in a collective. And I think that's what people come onto TikTok looking for. People necessarily, they don't have that in the real world. And that's why it is so easy for people to fall into that trap. And that is also why it's so easy for creators to control their audiences in the way that they do.
I think it's also, I've done the same, everyone, by the way. I think it's also very important to get a good, well-rounded, set of views and opinions. So I don't know, I'll be honest, I do spend a lot of time in people's lives, even people's lives that I don't, like or agree with, just to see, what their side of things are. I think it's really good. I think it's healthy to get a good rounded opinions. Does that make sense? Sorry, guys, I'm getting brain fog. But yeah, I think just staying for too long is where it gets a bit, yeah.
Because you also do need to hear, even if
I
you
know,
don't
because I
agree
see
with
you
me.
in Delusives all the time, Teresa. I'm outing you now.
Clocked.
Yes, I do. I go into Delulu's because I'm not a fan of Delulu, but I do go in there because I do believe that you do need to see the bigger picture to form an opinion. Like I don't sit here and drag anybody apart from the evil one because I don't agree with racism. But like Daniel said, I go everywhere because I like to hear other people's views and opinions. I don't want my mind to be just set on one thing. I don't want to blindly follow anybody. So yeah,
Sorry,
like
Teresa. Barbie in the comment makes a really valid point that TikTok's algorithmic power and addictive content are a modern day version of mind control. Wake up. And how many times have we said that in here? Do you know what I mean? We know. I've got large numbers today, and I'm going to say, largely in part, there are many creators who wouldn't consider these numbers large. It is what it is. I don't care. These numbers are large for me, and the numbers I've had in here today are large for me. I'm probably owing in part to the fact that Miss Red isn't on, but we see this regularly in here when we will sit comfortably on 50 or 60 people, but the minute anything drama related kicks off, people start arguing, beef starts beefing, then the numbers will shoot up. And that is TikTok pushing your live out. So what I'm basically saying is, can you all start beefing each other so that my live gets pushed out? Thank you.
But
I consider 20 to be a high number. I'm like, there's 20 people in here, get it.
There have been studies done recently around how short form content is impacting people's attention spans. It's impacting people's ability to store information in their long-term memory. It is literally impacting people's brains and the way that they process information and can recite it back to you. And I think TikTok specifically, and I know it was Musically first, but I don't think there was a lot of actual like talking content when it was Musically. I think it was just like music videos and stuff. I think TikTok specifically is really focused around that short form content, and it's quick scroll onto the next video. And I'll find myself so many times, I'll just have a quick 10-minute scroll on TikTok. Before I know it, it's been an hour, because it is short form content, one after the other. And because of that, your brain doesn't recognize how long you're spending digesting that information.
Can I just say off the back of that as well, completely unrelated, because we're nothing if not all over the place around these ways. My husband made a declaration of divorce last night via the medium of language because he was on the phone to his parents and said pacifically instead of specifically.
Jail time.
The actual, like, if you wanted to divorce, just ask me, I'd do it. Do not go around saying pacifically, because literally you could get in serious trouble for doing that. Specifically. Sorry, I went off on one then.
Hey, it's your live.
Can I also add generally to that, for people who really mean genuinely?
Yeah.
What was that one? Genuinely.
instead of
Yeah, a lot
generally.
of people are taken to saying generally instead when they mean genuinely.
I'm just going to drop Jenny because the kids are kicking off, but I can't say the S specific word either. I can't.
Specific, Carl.
Tongue-tied, tongue-tied, the child's tied.
Specifically. I can't say it in my
Can't say it at all. I'll just say the S ocean or whatever.
Yes, high rate. Oh my God.
Horrible.
My husband saying Pacifically made me high rate.
You know what I love on TikTok? When people say cease and desist instead of cease and desist.
I nearly said it earlier. Em.
My favourite. That's like CLA's HDHD.
Yeah, but do you know what? I say that now all the time, HDHD. It's funny how, oh, sorry, Hungry Guy. It's funny how it seeps into real life, isn't it? Like I said to I say this after dragging my husband for saying Pacifically, when I literally said to him the other day, oh, did you see that news story about somebody getting unalived? And he was like, what are you talking about?
Oh my God, I say that all the time. Like, I see grapes now in the real life.
Yeah, me too.
And somebody's like, what's grape? I'm like, oh, damn it.
One of my favourite pastimes is arguing with misogynists on the internet, and I was speaking to my partner about it the other day, and he was like, why are you doing that? And I was like, you don't understand the rate at which women and girls are being graped. And he was like, what is graped? And I was like, oh my God, I need to get off TikTok.
I know. I need to stop saying these words.
Well, apparently bananaed instead of that word, Paul. Apparently that's a myth, but I never actually want to say it in case it's not a myth and I get bananaed.
Banana.
I think it is a myth because I tried to type it in a chat the other day and I got a warning. So I'm not convinced it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a thing on, you know what, when you go on like your messages and your notifications, it came up saying that my comment was removed.
And can I just say big thanks to everybody in here today. I think we've had a really great conversation, and these conversations can't be had without the input from people and their communities. So I appreciate everybody that's had input today.
Live, can you go around to everybody else's lives and say it was really biased and that Jelly is a massive fence sitter and that she's in Red's pocket and that we're all paid off by Red basically, and this was just to help Miss Red further her agenda of taking over the app. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Erica. There's also a lot of cake talk. So, you know, if you like cake, we are 100% an echo chamber when it comes to cake.
I love cake.
Yeah. I think that's why we like it in here, though, because it is like everybody's opinion in like a calm, collective way, if you know what I mean. It's not about do you know what I mean? Like if Em has a different opinion to me, it's not about arguing. Do you know what I mean? Like shouting at each other about it.
Yeah, because I always go back to something, and I say it all the time. I always go back to something that Kenzino's mum said.
Why would I? So of course I'm going to question someone when they're making an accusation towards someone on here. Of course I am. You know, what about what if that person hadn't done it and they're innocent and you're convicting an innocent man? How do you know? You're not court. You know, you're not courtroom. It's not for me to question it, but if you bring to TikTok, I'll question it. You know what I mean? I've been there, Angie. We need to all question. Yeah, exactly, Deborah. You got to turn the tables around and remember, what if that was your child, whether it was a girl or a boy, right? It could be 18, 19, still your child, right? And they getting accused. What are you going to do? You're going to question the victim. Are you not? There you go. There's always two sides to a story. But the thing is, with TV and other certain things, but it pulls on people's heartstrings. They feel they can't question it, or I can't question that. That's too deep. You know what I mean? Why would a woman lie about it? I don't know. You tell me. Personal vendetta, maybe. Could be many reasons, but women do lie, unfortunately, about grape as well. So do men. So, you know what I mean? Yeah, kids lie as well. Teenagers lie all the time. So, yeah, I think that is good to always question it, yeah. So what Scarsdale is saying is that Victor is the abuser. That's what she's basically saying, and that Iki's telling the truth, and he's the abuser. So you're now accusing him, making an accusation. You know what I mean? I just couldn't do that. I just wouldn't do that. Did you lie then? No, I didn't lie, but you don't have to believe me. You want to question me, but what are you going to question me about? You don't know the guy. You don't know who he is. So what's the point on you questioning me? Unless you're going to target him, but you're not. Do you know what I mean? But I don't care whether you question me or whether you believe me. I know the truth and that's it. But don't get upset when I question you. You and Rido both love drama. Rido, I don't mind Rido. Yeah, Rido. You'll have all the drama.
For what I've seen of Rickster's behaviour, he is a nasty piece of work.
You can not like someone and think someone is nasty, right? Excuse me, but however, it does not make them an abuser. It does not make them guilty of whatever crime you're accusing that person of because you have a dislike to them for them. And that's the problem with this app. Like me, you have a dislike for me, so I've not been through DV, right? That's what you're thinking. I've not been through DV because you have a dislike for me. Not because you want the truth, but because you just don't like me. It's the same with Vixie. You don't like him, so he must be the abuser.
I'm not going to call him a man because he is not a man. He is a nasty piece of work. And I fully, 110% believe anybody, whether it's EQ or somebody else, comes forward and says...
If you think that, you think Rix is a nasty piece of work, but is EQ not the same? The things that she comes out of her mouth, you know what I mean? What she says?
That Richter has done DV towards them. Just think, Delusive Angie, if the tables were turned...
Yeah, and like I said, Scale Slayer, if the tables were turned and that was your son that was being accused, yeah, the first thing, love, is you're going to question the victim. Are you not? Yes. Number 2, you can ask for the receipts. Are you not? And number 3, you're going to be standing by your son in court. Are you not? Number 4, you're going to turn around and say you don't believe that victim. Are you not? So turn it around to you. Absolutely.
And EQ sat there and said that she didn't believe that you went through DV. How would that make you feel?
How did it make me feel? It made me feel I just don't give a shit. You can believe what you want. Why would I care who believes me or who doesn't believe me? I don't care. I know the truth. You're not the judge and jury. Why do I care about your opinions, whether you believe I've gone through DV?
I think we all need to step back and start thinking how we want to be treated and treat people the same.
Yeah, but you can't go around making accusations, and this is not just about Victor, this is about anybody. You can't just go around making accusations about people. You can't do that either, yeah? So, like I said, turn the tables around, because I know people that have been accused of DV and other certain things that were innocent, I should say, that have been accused. There's, you'd be surprised that that's actually quite high, the number of women and men that make up DV, that lie about it, report that person to the police because they have a personal vendetta. That's why it's so important to always have receipts. Because how can you convict anyone without it? We're going to put people in jail and say, well, okay, it's a kid. Why would a kid lie? Well, why do teenagers lie? You ask me, but they do. You know what I mean? Or this guy just doesn't look, he looks a certain way. Yeah, he looks like a criminal. Let's put him in jail. Oh, I don't like this person. He's a nasty piece of work. So, yeah, he did it. No, you still got to have receipts. You know what I mean? Because you got to think who's the victim. You know what I mean? In some situations, the person that's been accused, falsely accused, is the victim, right? But you would want to say the other person's the victim. Like, what do you mean? Like Laura and Speedo. You all sat there, all of you, and took Speedo's side. But wait a minute. He wasn't the victim. She was. Do you know what I mean? Because you just dislike Laura because of your dislike for Laura. You know what I mean? It's certainly like judge and jury.
You don't like someone, you don't like somebody, avoid them. But don't question their DV experiences, because that makes you an awful person if you do that.
No, it doesn't make me an awful person. It makes me a a realist. It makes me a person that I know that there's people make up false accusations. Yeah. So in that case, Skelsley, what you're saying is if there's a court case, they shouldn't be questioning the DV victim. Well, they do question the DV victim, and so does the police. You know what I mean? It's a very big accusation. So, okay, let's not question them. Let's not question it. Say if it's your son's a scale slayer and your son has got an accusation against him, right? Let's just believe the victim. Yeah, your son did it. Why would she lie? Yeah, she's a victim. Yes. And in the meantime, you'll probably get threats, you know, and all sorts with an accusation over him. Anyway, let's go to the next video. Oh, dear. Right, what's the next video? Oh, this one. Rickster turns up at EQ's house with a friend. Did you hear about that, Zayana?
Did Ange? What do you think?
I don't know. I'll play the video.
Help you? Hmm?
Can you see it, guys? You can
What do
only...
you want?
See yourselves.
Open the door. Oh my God. You really want me that much?
Let me, one sec, let me close the curtains because the light's coming beaming through. Right, that's it. That's a bit... There's still probably a lot of light. Okay.
You want me this much? Bloody hell. What would you have done if the door would have
Hold it back a bit.
And that's what I'd like to know. You know what I mean? And what was this other man going to do with his black gloves on? Was he going to choke me to death or something?
Trigger warning.
Because you despise me with all your might. So the fact that you're at my home... And then this man with the black gloves on, look.
Someone has put, if you say that isn't him, shame on you. Yeah, to me it doesn't look like him. That's
I was
definitely
going to say the same, Ange.
Yeah, it's definitely not Rickster.
Trying my door.
Just, I'll do it, put it forward. Play it again.
What you want? Trying to open the door? Oh my God. You really want me that much, don't you? Crazy. You want me this much? Bloody hell. What would you have done if the door would have been open and you would have came in? That's what I'd like to know. You know what I mean? And what was this other man going to do with his black gloves on? Was he going to choke me to death or something? Because you despise me with all your might. So the fact that you're at my home, and then this man with the black gloves on, look, why has he got black gloves on? Trying my door. Were you here to kill me? Oh God, love. No one's asked. I hope it made you sick to see how nice my house is. Yeah, bitch. Anyway, my darlings.
What do you guys
Can I
think?
help you?
Apparently, Levi was saying that he also got a knock at the door as well. And where is he now? I forgot now. But what do you guys think, Stephanie? Oh, guys, listen, I've watched this video 100 times. I can tell you it's not Rickster. 100 times I watched it. And it's definitely not him.
Ange, the first time I watched it, I thought, who's that? I thought, fucking hell, that's a good lookalike of Rickster.
Yeah. I think it's definitely, you know what I think, Diana? It's definitely someone trying to be Rickster.
It's got a different nose and a different hairline.
Exactly. It's someone
And a different body build.
Yeah. It's definitely someone trying to sound like him and dress like him and look like him.
Well, all you have to do is have his voice on recording. You don't really have to have him, do you? It could just be his voice playing on recording.
He probably put a wig on so he looks like Rickster. Yes, Ange. Yeah, thank you. There you go. So that's my opinion anyway. That's definitely not Rickster. I looked at it 100 times. I looked at that.
He's got a cleaner look than Rickster, if that makes sense. Like, Rickster looks quite dirty. That's probably... Look, Rickster looks quite dirty looking, where he looks like fresh and clean looking, like a Essex.
Yeah. Yeah.
Check out what I got.
One sec. I'm just messaging you. Yeah. So anyway, guys. So should we do a poll? Yeah, it's not Rickster. I've just sent you a message, Diana. And she being a troll. Oh, guys, what do you think about that? That is gone to Iki's house. I wonder if she was home. You know what I mean? At the time. Thank you, Will. It's disgusting. Yeah. You know what? I don't agree with people going to people's houses, but then you are going to get people like maybe they do push it. You know what I mean? And end up. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what I think, to be honest. Because with the DHB situation, I don't think that was okay either. However, he was kind of antagonising Sam. Do you know what I mean? And I was just going to say, there are people on here that just keep pushing, and then you got some people that kind of just say, sod that, I'm just going to go to that person's house. There are some people that wouldn't even give a shit if you got children. That's a fact. They would not care. So I suppose in some ways you should really be careful what you say on social media. And I guarantee you there are people that wouldn't give a shit that you got children there.
I definitely don't think it was him. He looks more like a traveller, that man does, like an Essex traveller than a Rickster. Rickster's got a dirty look to him. That man looked quite like fresh cut clean.
No, well, my opinion on it. But I've also said that sometimes people can be pushed to the edge, where they do things, where they do take off TikTok. I just feel that you're going to be careful what you say on TikTok and not antagonise people as some people do, Oh my God. No, it's not him, guys. I've watched it 20 times. It's not.
Look.
It's a lookalike stuff.
That lady just agreed. Yes, see, his eyes look scary. That lady agrees.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's definitely a traveller. That's not Rickster at all.
Yeah, as well, Savage though. I didn't know how to put it politely, but Rickster's got like a dirty look to him. I keep saying it, but it feels wrong me saying it. But yeah, and that he looks like a fresh cut traveller Essex.
Yeah, he has his hair slicked back, and that's normally the way what travellers do with their hair. Not Rickster definitely wouldn't do that.
Yeah. I agree, Ange. Definitely not him.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Would have to provide some more evidence.
Yeah, exactly.
Come with the more evidence.
Yeah. You hear him talk. Well, it's obviously someone that probably wants to sound like Rickster. Do you know?
Just hold the recording of him, Edge. It's not hard to get his voice. Walk to the front door with a record of every say.
I agree. That's what I think they've done.
I want to know. I wonder what would have happened if she answered the door, though.
Well, he had black gloves on. He wasn't coming.
Because I think she set it up herself, Edge. I don't think anything would have happened to her because she set it up herself, and if anything did happen, it would have just been like,
Do you think she set up herself? Do you think it was a setup?
Yeah,
yeah, I do, and I agree with Z. And I was joking just then, but the reason I think it's set up is because she was so insistent on mentioning that they had black gloves. What's that got like? I don't really understand the logic with that. So she was very insistent with that. Yeah, it's one of them looky likies. You can get looky likies, and they've gone online. It's definitely.
Do you think they're in it together? Like, no, I don't agree. I don't think. You think if that's set up, then I'll think so.
I don't know. I think Z's got a good shout with that.
I don't think it's set up.
So do you think it was just? Go on.
Everything they've said to each other is set up. I don't believe that. No.
So I've just had a message come through from my mother saying possibly and maybe with Corey. I don't know if my mother's reaching.
Else just said. I literally said the same thing. I can't be the only one then if there's more people.
You can pay people for to do a lot of things. Money get people very far. I think it was definitely a setup.
But his video, which I'll play in a minute, he was angry. Now, I've met Rickster once, right? And I know that he would want people to think to think he's a nice person, not a horrible person. So if that was an act, why would he want people to think he's a horrible person? Because that's what she's making him out to be, this abuser, or and everything else that he'd done this thing to this woman. That's definitely not an act. Why would you want an act for people to think that he hit a woman?
Ange, Somebody just said it in the comments, and that's exactly right. She looked too calm. Let's put it into perspective. If somebody came to your house, Ange, 2 men, you wouldn't be, oh, look.
What I reckon.
You'd be freaking out. You'd be going nuts, right?
Oh no, you know what I reckon though, because I know you know what EQ was like. She probably did go nuts after that, yeah. But when she went live, she wanted to be as calm as possible because she didn't want to give him the satisfaction.
Okay.
Is scared, upset, or angry? That's probably what it is. She don't want to get him to give that satisfaction. You know, when you get mad, that's giving them that satisfaction, right?
Yeah.
So
That's a
she
fair
probably
point.
did get mad.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Maybe she didn't do it on here and then did it afterwards. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. When she's playing that video, she does look a little bit nervy. She looks really nervy, like, you know what I mean? But
So, just to get it clear, because I'm interested in your opinion, you don't think it was set up, but you don't think it's Rickster.
yeah.
Where Sammy thinks it's set up and it's not Rickster. What do you think, Z?
Set up and it's not Rickster.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it was set up and I don't think it was Rickster, yeah.
It's definitely not set up because if you watch this video, he was really angry. And I know Rickster, he's a bad actor. You know, we did a bit of content, you know, and he's not very good at acting, to be honest. And I just feel that he wouldn't want to go along with the saying for people to think he punched someone in the face. Because that's the photo of KJ. If that's set up of him going to his house, that means everything's set up. That means they went it together. And I know Rickster, yeah, and I've only met him once, don't forget, only once I met him. But I know just from meeting him once, there's no way he would want that on social media that he's a user. No way.
Okay. And then people are saying he allegedly went to another house. Do you know about this? Is there evidence of that?
Right?
That he went to someone else's house?
There's no evidence of that because that person didn't go live.
Okay, so that person hasn't put any videos out of Rickster turning up there.
Piece to the puzzle is Talia had just been caught on Angie's ring doorbell camera. So do you think that Rickster's going to be stupid again to make the same mistake twice and go there without his face covered?
Yeah, but you've got to realise that it's not a crime to knock at someone's door.
No, but they did try the door though, the door handle.
No, that's not, doesn't make, did they get in? Did they break in?
No, but that's intimidation, isn't it?
Having trouble with her online?
Did you actually see him try the door on camera?
You can hear it. You can hear the door
Well,
handle.
there you go. He could just say that could be something else. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
of course, yeah. And either way, I don't think it was him. I think she set it up. But yeah, you hear the door go, and that could be, you know, intimidation. Whoever it is, whether it is real
I
or
believe that Riggs has been pushed to the limit. He's been pushed over the edge, and he said, "That's it. Enough's enough," basically. And
Do you think that it was him that went to the door or not?
no.
Yeah. I don't think it was either.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is interesting. Okay, all right. I'll let you crack on. I just
Yeah, I jumped on as well.
Never come on last night, did she? What time? Did it have a time on there, the video, at what time they went
somebody
to the
said it was just after midnight, but I don't know if Ange can look at the time.
Well, I got the video of him going to, because he put it out this morning, someone said in the comments. So have a look.
Yeah, do you want me to get it or can you get it?
Check out what I
12:16 Z, 12:15 then. Well, apparently he went to Levi's first.
No one knows. It's not an FYP.
all the way to Wales, to then drive all the way to Liverpool, to then drive all the way home.
Where does he live? Does he live in Birmingham?
He lives with Talia. Well, he was living with Talia, but then something was said last night that he's not allowed to be there anymore, so God knows where he's living.
Ange, can I ask you a question before I jump down?
Yeah.
I'll wait for you to watch this.
I can guarantee you 100% that's not a setup.
Okay, Ange, my question to you is, seriously, serious question, when is this all going to stop? Who's going to cave in? Who's going Who's going to stop
I
it?
think with that's happened last night, I think EQ will stop talking on it because I do think she's scared.
Okay.
Why? Yeah. So I think it's all going to stop. Yeah.
Okay.
Put out a post to EQ last night, and I don't know if it was after all of this. She said this has to stop, and I think she needs to point her finger towards herself. Because I'm only doing the FYP. Miss Red's doing the FYP, so we do the FYP based on what she says. So she needs to stop it. And hopefully when she goes live, she does not speak on it, and she just does the normal FYP. But that's what she's asked people to do. But obviously I'm going to play that video, aren't I? Because I do the FYP.
Yeah, of course. But do you think that's what's going to happen? Do you feel, you know these people like more than like most, do you think that's what she's going to do? Like
Yes.
stop talking about it? Yeah, okay. Oh.
I think they're all going to stop talking on it. Well, I think.
Yeah, that's your opinion. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Watch the Levi one. Because he said
can't
it's
find
this.
it.
I've got it here. Do you want to watch it?
Yes, please.
2 minutes.
Right, I'm going to have an opinion on this and then I'll drop down.
All right.
It might be me that have static.
love that.
Sorry.
Elusive TPR, big up, love it.
The same guy went to EQ's. At my house.
Is that the same
At my house.
person?
I don't
You
know.
get your video out, Ange.
And you see my dog attack him.
It's the same person, yeah. But only looks like, I don't know, I'm not too sure.
Same coat, would you say?
Mute it, and I'll see.
Let me try and get where he comes up. Oh,
That doesn't look like Rickster.
this one ain't Rickster, this one's the other one, ain't it?
Easy. Yeah. Looks like the same, innit? Because you can see here, look. Yeah, to me it looks the same, but who knows?
That one got a puffer coat on with.
Yeah. Puffer coat, blue, purple.
Yeah.
Why is he going to Levi's, Ange? If that is true, if that is it, what has Levi done? Because I thought that Talia was all up Sophie's backside and they were friendly.
No, they're falling out.
Oh, God, right, okay.
And I do have a cold.
Yeah.
What I've caught, but I've
Thank
caught
you.
some.
What the hell?
Yeah, the door open. My mum opened the dogs. I thought it was my uncle at first.
What did your mum say?
Said to him to go away.
That's the brother.
Look at my dog runs up
I
now.
think they say that's Talia's brother.
A little bear luck.
Oh, they're saying to listen to the audio.
Yeah.
Rick's was on the far right. Rick's was on the right. He wasn't in camera.
Oh, Rick's still there as well.
Yeah, Rick's was there. Yeah, I seen him.
Oh my god.
You not video it?
No.
I would have
You can hear him in the other clip saying something about me.
But they're a bit stupid to not be knocking on your door when you got CCTV.
I know.
Well, he still carries on knocking.
Yeah, so now you'll see him say my dog now. Get in and watch. He got scared of my little doggy.
What was the outcome of this? What was the trouble doing?
That's not what she said. Got scared of the... The same guy went to EQ's. At my house.
Where's
At my
the big
house.
one
I
after
don't know.
that though
Who's
where he
that,
says
though?
get in, show us the wrestling
You see my
boys,
dog
stop
attack
being
him.
tight.
He says to my dog, get back in.
What did he say to his mum after he said get back into the dog?
What the hell?
Yeah, the door open. My mum opened the dogs. I thought it was my uncle at first.
What did your mum say?
I think they've gone to the beginning, Sayana.
Go
Yeah.
away.
Hold on for a second. He said that Rickster was there at the door, but he's able to move the camera to the right. And he said that he's seen Rickster. There's no proof that Rickster's there.
No, what he said, Sammy, is that he was looking out the window like a little baby and could see Rickster but didn't record him, and the other geezer was in the camera of the view of the CCTV. He basically ran scared, didn't record him, claims it's Rickster, blah, blah, blah.
So where was Rickster then? On the left or right?
He said on the right, but then when Millen says, "Did you record him?" he said no. So let's get it right. He hid in his room, let Mummy go and answer the door to these two alleged thugs at the door. Didn't record one of them out of view of the CCTV, and sent Mummy to go and. It's weird. Why would you send your mother to open the door?
Well, I wonder what his mum said. Did we get the next bit of what she said to the mum?
No, he cuts it, and he doesn't play the whole thing.
And the camera points to the right as well. So if Rickster was standing there, he would have been on the
it's
right.
flipped, Sammy, so it points to the left, but not to the right.
It's opposite way around.
Yeah.
Well, he hasn't got any proof that he was there anyway. So.
No, but and can you imagine sending your mum to the door with two blokes knocking the door?
Well, I was telling my mum to lock herself in the bedroom.
Yeah.
The answer to that.
Why is some geezer sending his mum to the door? Like, what weasel?
Crazy. Well, I hope maybe it's going to stop now because it's getting boring anyway, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I would send my nan. Would you? maybe your nan is.
I think he thought it was his uncle at first, but then, however, his mum said, "Hello, can I help you?" So
Yeah.
it wasn't my uncle.
And he says he saw Rickster, and then when Millen said, "Did you record it?" he said no. So he was
And he
looking
knew
out
that
of
there was
window.
going to his house. Did he have an inkling that they was going to the house? Because didn't they say that they was going to his house? So if you knew they were going to your house, well, you let your mother open the door.
Yeah. What an absolute wet wipe.
I would have been ready.
Well,
I would have
gone to the
let
popo
them
about
left
it.
them stinking.
Did he say he'd gone to the popo, the police about it or not? I know.
Don't know, Ange, because I only literally heard about it when your comments were saying about it just now.
I don't think he would
Well, I'm
go
not
to.
defending anything, Julie. I'm just doing FYP and playing the videos. People have their opinions. You know?
Yeah, we're allowed our opinion. Right, I'm going to jump down on you.
All right, Sammy.
Take care.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to let you carry on and I'll listen.
Listen. Hello?
Hello.
Can I just say, why are you supporting Rickster on this? Talia's been to your door, they've been to Levi's, they've tried to go to Corey's, and now they've turned up at Evil Queens.
I'm not supporting anybody. I'm just doing FYP and playing the videos, and people can come in the box.
Some of the comments are disgusting, though. Oh, she brought it all on herself.
Yeah, Evil. You can't play
The thing is, Evil Queen, no matter what people say, she's female, yeah?
Yeah. But what
she was on her own, and two men have turned up at her door. What if that door wasn't locked and they had have got entry?
No, but
what would have happened then? Would people then be like that? Everyone saying, "Oh, no one's going to talk about it." Why?
I'm not saying Evil was right at all. I'm just trying to get my head around as to what happened.
What happened is he was on live, said he was in a different country, which people knew was BS because there were like British car plates in the background. Then he turns up at Evil Queens. There's video footage of it. He's turned up at Levi's. There's footage of that. People need to understand the man is dangerous.
I understand what you're saying, Evil, but, you know, when this happened to me, I had a lot of people, saying that I deserved it. So
I never said that, and I would not say that you deserved it. Nobody deserves anyone turning up on their doorstep.
No, I'm not saying that, but the same people are sitting here saying, it's how disgusting it is with ones that were saying, well, you deserved it. You know what I mean? So this is what I'm getting. In regards to the comments I'm talking about, you know what I mean, with people saying what they're saying. When they sat there saying, well, you shouldn't say what you say on TikTok, then Angie, then said that I deserved it. So, you know what I mean? I'm saying the selective outrage.
I understand your point, and I would not say you deserved it. You didn't. Talia was totally out of bloody order turning up. And put it this way, any career that she had in mind now, it's down the pan.
Nothing to do with Talia, though. I mean, it's
well, it is, because her and Rickster are doing this. What were they threatening Sophie Bailey last night, that her sisters were going to turn up at her house?
Yeah, did they turn up?
It has got something to do with Talia. She was the
don't
one
know
that turned
anything
up
about
at your house when you were outside the police station. Everybody saw it was her that went for you. We didn't see it, we heard it. It's obvious she went for you. So Talia is involved as much as Rickster. They
Yeah,
are
I'm not saying
both
it's right. I'm not saying
poisonous
it's right.
people.
Yeah. I'm just getting, well, I don't know what would have happened if she answered that door. What do you think would have happened? Do you think she
I
would
think
have...
he would have gone for her. I really do. He would have threatened her. He's already threatened her over alive. He threatened me. He told me that someone called Turks in Bromsgrove was going to sort me out. I'm now trying to find out who this person is because I don't think they'd appreciate their name being plastered all over TikTok as a threat towards a woman. Why? Because I've done a few little videos that poke fun at him. Nothing I've done is downright nasty. I've poked fun at the fact that he wears a wig. Come to me then, Rickster, because I'm not evil queen. I haven't been bullied for months by you and beaten into the floor. I will stand my ground with you.
I'm not saying it's right. However, you know, he has been called an abuser, hasn't he?
He is an abuser.
And
this saying that this girl faked the bruise on the eye. How many other people is in his past that have come forward that he's going to say, I don't know them?
Yeah,
That's
but I could
bullshit.
feel that you're an abuser, but that don't mean that it's right, does it? Just because I'm saying it. He hasn't been proven in the eyes of the law that he's been an
I'm trying to
abuser.
say, there's no proof here. You know, if you've got this proof, why isn't there no police case? Do you know what I mean? It's crazy.
There is a police case.
Well, if there's a police case, then people shouldn't be talking on them then, if that's the case. You know what I mean?
She isn't, is she? Has Evil Queen come live and talked about it now? I have.
He's been talking about it every day.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, what happened last night? There is going to be definitely a police case on that. I mean, he's actually turned up. That is really, that is scary for a female on her own.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but, you know, there's no crime there because it's just knocking at the door, isn't it?
No, he tried the door handle and the other chap did. That is like attempted break and entry.
Well,
if they tried her door handle, like I said, what would have happened if that was unlocked?
I think, unfortunately, we didn't see him do that, so he could just say...
We did. I saw it on the camera. You can see. Ricky walks away and that other geezer is there trying the handle. Rewatch it. Rewatch it. You can see after Ricky walks down the driveway, that other bloke tries the handle. It's clear on the footage. You can see him moving his hand up and down trying the handle. And like I say, what would have happened if that was open?
I still don't think it's him.
How was it? Have you spoken to
You don't think it was Ricky? Have you seen the footage? You can clearly see his face.
No, it wasn't Rickster.
It was. Angie, are you blind? You can see his face on camera. I know Rickster and I know who I saw.
No, I mean, well, that's just my opinion.
He's from Bromsgrove near Redditch. His
You've obviously got hatred towards him because you've had trouble with him in the past, but I don't think it was him either.
Oh my Jesus, really? I can't believe what I'm hearing here. Watch the video again. It's Rickster. Anyone that says that is not Rickster, they're totally in denial.
No, it's just someone trying to look like him, I think, you know?
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think people are going to go that far as to what are they going to do? Have plastic surgery to look like him? No one can make themselves look like someone like that.
Well, I don't even think it was him because no, definitely no.
They turned up at Levi's as well. It's a bit of a weird coincidence.
Yeah, we don't see Rickster on that video, though, do we?
The bloke that's with him is on the video, so it's obvious Rickster was there.
Yeah, but that could be any two men.
Oh my God.
There's not solid evidence.
Let's put it this way: when there's an arrest and Rickster is arrested, because Evil Queen, she has to do something about this. And when it all comes out, you're going to look very silly because that was definitely Rickster.
Thank you, Evil. The way I see it, right, it's going to be tit for tat. Because she said a lot, he said a lot. It's gone back.
Yeah, but she got in her car, drove down and dragged Talia out the bedroom. Out the bungalow, I mean. No.
That never happened. It's not crime to knock on the door.
They didn't just knock, they tried the handle.
Well, even to him...
And it is an offence because it's threatening and intimidation.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but even him trying the handle, I don't think there's a case there. That's just my opinion.
Well, put it this way, if they'd have tried their hand on my door, trying to open it, they'd have been missing hands because I would have had them. I'm a strong woman and I would not stand for that. That is disgusting what they've done. Intimidating a woman on her own, that is disgraceful.
Do you think, can I ask you a question? Do you think she's quite scared, DQ, after that happened?
Yeah. She'll put a front on, but I've
Well, do you know she was in her house
I've
at the
known
time?
Chelsea for what,
Right
5
then,
years?
but I thought she had security.
That's what she's got. The cameras are her security. She has got cameras
Right
everywhere.
outside with a torch.
Oh, that was previously when all that was kicking off before. She's not going to employ someone to be there every day. It cost a fortune, wouldn't it? But no, she has got security like the cameras, things like alarms and stuff. So, you know, obviously if they had to open the door, an alarm would have gone off.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, like, she puts the front on. I've known her for like 5 years, and like she puts the front on, and a lot of people do. You know, I don't particularly like Miss Red, but she puts the front on.
Yeah,
Angie,
can I just say
you
once
do as
again,
well.
Yeah, once again with I didn't put a front on, I was fuming. You know, once again, like with Corey, you know, he said that don't if you don't talk on someone's like what I did, you know, people are going to come to your house. Well, we could say ditto to that then, can't we?
Yeah, but it's different when two men turn up at your
No,
door.
I don't agree with it, don't get me wrong. But however, a lot of people thought I deserved it, including Corey. So I don't think Corey included could actually say, well, this is disgusting when they thought it was funny when it happened to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but like I said, this is two men,
that's not you.
two
That's
grown men, and you see the build of Ricky. He has put a bit of plough on, you know what I mean? He's a big bloke now. For him to turn up when he's threatened her before, you know? For him to turn up with someone else, she must have been petrified.
Yeah, has she gone to the police about it, do you know?
No comment.
No comment. Yeah. Wow.
She'd be silly if she didn't, because it needs to stop. Something needs to happen.
Video evidence
This
is
app,
enough, Ange.
I'm telling you now, this app over the last few years has declined massively.
Yeah. Yeah, I just put people in the boxes, guys.
And the
Hi,
evils
Ange.
aren't here to attack you, Ange, or anything. We just want our say.
I know, absolutely. And you can always have your say in here, regardless. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, I do follow you, I do watch you, even though things go on and I disagree with people. I
When
don't
they
just
said
drop
about the
them.
gloves, you know, that someone used the glove, and she said, was he using the gloves to, you know, unalive her? He might have been using gloves because of DNA.
Probably, yeah, fingerprints and stuff, yeah. But that's showing intent as well, going wearing gloves.
Ange, can I ask you a serious question? And I don't mean to have a dig or anything.
Oh, it could have been
But-
because it's cold, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, hi.
But are you scared of Talia and Rickster?
People ask me that, but I'm not. I speak to them. I speak to Talia on the phone. I message Talia. You got to remember, I reached out to her. She didn't reach out to me. When I saw Miss Red's live, I decided I didn't have to do that. I messaged her first. And then we started kind of talking. But no,
Right.
do I agree they came to my house? Absolutely not. However, something good did come out of it.
And do you agree with what they're doing? Slagging people off?
I wouldn't it? They're slagging people off. Well, I just see it's tit for tat. You know, EQ's, you know, said a lot. So it's, you know, it's gone back and forth. That's how I see it. I said you're only a victim if you don't say anything, right? I think it's just been going back and forth. And I think he maybe pushed him over the edge, that being called an abuser.
Well, if you got called that name, wouldn't you go on and on and on? And because EQ was telling the truth, wouldn't you say the same? What EQ has done? Because I know I certainly would.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought you don't support EQ, no?
Oh, yeah, I do support her. Well and truly, I do. But because for the last 3 months, Rickster and the rest of the creators have had a pop, and she's telling the truth. Now it's all came out. Where's Miss Red? Where's Luke the judge? Where's their...
Yeah, but we
from
don't
the
know.
It's all come out though,
authority?
nothing's come out.
Yeah, exactly. There's no being.
It's all come out, but you're not
April,
saying anything.
there's no solid evidence of anything that's come out. I'm sorry,
The
there really
video,
isn't. The what? Can you
the
tell me
video
what?
of EQ this morning.
This morning doing what?
Rickster knocking on a door.
Oh, okay, right, yeah, I get that. But what I'm talking about before that happened, what evidence has there been that Rick's is an abuser and all the things that EQ has said he is?
Really? Miss Red had that poor woman on her platform a few years ago. You said that you debunked it. She's shown all the evidence. Oh, come on.
Yeah, but
Wake
the thing
up.
is, why didn't she
Wake up.
say?
Smell the coffee, for God's sake.
Yeah, but
Smell
Eva,
the
why?
coffee.
Let me ask you a question. Why didn't she show the evidence in 2000? Whenever it was, 2-3 years ago? Why didn't she show the evidence then? Why is it taking us 3 years to show this? This
Because she got shut down. She was on Miss Red's platform. She tried before that to bring things out. Then she went on to Miss Red's, thought that she was safe. She got attacked. Then it was shut down. This time she actually felt stronger. She did find pictures she didn't have before.
Yeah. So
Like the picture of
I
them with
can-
Frank
I can
Bruno
just-
and everything
the
that
thing is,
she's
though,
only
I can just
recently
get a
found.
picture- I can just get a picture of someone of a black eye, yeah. But there's no proof that it was Richter that did it. It could be anything.
There's no proof that to the other
but
effect
that
as well.
happened.
You
But
can't
that's-
prove anything.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
can't. That's
I
what
do
I'm trying to
understand
say.
that.
I'm
But
give away.
are we going to say this for every person that comes forward, male or female?
Yes, I am.
So you're going to slam down every person that comes forward and says, I've been abused?
No, if they're on TikTok and you're accusing another creator, we know who they are. And some
You
people-
say bring proof, she's brought proof, and now that's being questioned. Thank you, everyone,
I
for the
will question it,
coins.
just like a court of law.
Sorry, I haven't noticed.
So you're saying if everybody comes and shows proof that Richter has done this, that, and the other, you're going to sit there and say, oh, I believe Richter.
No, wait there, and it gets debunked 4 years ago, and then brings proof 4 years later.
Can I just ask a quick question for Evil Army?
She's only just found the evidence, that's why it's come forward again. She found the photos now.
Can I just explain that? Like, listen, you've got a woman that was here about 3 years ago. I think she even come on my platform, I can't remember, right? We debunked it all, right? I said, show me a photo of him and her together. Show me a photo. Show me something. She never did, right? There's no evidence, right? And then now we're in, 6 years later, she's suddenly come up with a photo. She's now suddenly got a photo when EQ and Rix have been going at each other. How convenient. Now she's suddenly got this photo. Where did it fall from the clouds? Because she never had that before when she was on Miss Red's live or on my platform. You know, and I just feel that also, yeah, she's got a picture of a black eye. Number one, you can edit photos, yeah. Number two, that could be from anyone. That could have, someone else could have done that and she's putting it on Richter. There could be many reasons. To me, that's not solid evidence. Evidence is audio and video evidence. That's solid evidence. And I can tell you it will be kicked out if it was in the court in the courtroom as well. Because that So you're asking me to believe that a man's an abuser on no evidence.
Andrew, can I just ask the Evil Army a quick question, please? Is that all right?
Sorry, you're muted, guys, Evil Army.
I just wanted to know, was the saying that we need to believe this woman, this KJ, she showed a black eye and whatnot. So are we Evil Army, are we believing Bradley when he says what Evil Queen done to him? Are we believing him as well then?
Yeah, you're saying believe the victim. Well, he's saying he's a victim. And
He showed proof, so are we believing him as well then? Because apparently we're just...
No, we're not saying we don't believe anyone. What we're saying is now Evil Queen has found voice recordings, footage of what actually happened.
Oh God.
And it throws shade on Bradley now.
She's in the box.
Bradley too bad.
Please don't shut her down. If she's in the box, please let her talk.
Everyone mute and EQ speak.
Thank you.
I don't know if she's here because it's loading.
Not loading.
EQ, I don't know if you're in the box, but do you want to jump out and jump back in because it's just loading. Let me kick her and then she can come back in. I don't know what's happening, man. Got another evil. But have all the evils in the box? Hello, evil. Oh, she's gone.
Can I just say for the person that said about Jack has said numerous times that he was beaten up. It wasn't Chelsea that done that. Please, he's even debunked that himself.
That's true, 100%, because there's evidence of that. And like I said, it was solid evidence. He had solid evidence. That was not Chelsea, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, because people went on about that as well, didn't they?
Definitely. They, said that she'd done it. She didn't even said that.
Yeah. That was Jack, though, guys. Bradley, I don't know. And like I said, I'm not going to sit here and accuse EQ either. because without solid evidence, you know, we don't have that. So why would I'm not going to believe? I'm not like everyone here. Where we've got to believe the victim. Who was the victim? The abuser or the abused? Do you know what I mean? When I say
I
abuser,
mean, I think like Evil Queen even said her and Bradley were as bad as each other. He pulled her hair extensions out, this, that, and the other. You know,
relationship. Yeah.
It was toxic, yeah, and she's better off out of it.
Yeah, but what people are trying to say, if you're saying that KJ is the victim, then so is Bradley, because he's come and said that this is what he's done to her, right? Now she's saying it's a toxic relationship, but that's her saying that. I mean, has Bradley said that? I don't know.
I think he has.
He's been married as well for 17 years, so he couldn't have really been the toxic person in my eyes.
Yeah, guys, you said someone said I believe who of this. I believe who I feel like I believe. No, I just believe on evidence. And like I said, Jack, for example, when people were saying that she's done this and that to Jack, she came up with clear evidence, EQ, that no, he was attacked. That was not from EQ. 100% believe on that. Bradley, there's no solid evidence on that one from Bradley's side either. So I'm not going to say it's believe Bradley either. Like KJ, I'm not going to believe KJ either because there's no solid evidence. Do you know what I mean? I just feel it's just all going back and forth. People have got these personal vendettas against each other. You know, with the KJ story, I find it hard to believe, and I'll tell you why. Like I said, 2000, whatever it was, 3-4 years ago, she came on my platform, whoever it was. She didn't show any evidence, any solid evidence. She didn't have nothing. And all of a sudden, now we're in 2025, she suddenly got a photo that she never showed before. So I do find that really odd. I find that suspicious. And that also, like I keep saying, could have been done by anybody, or it could be edited. To me, that's just not solid evidence. Do you know what I mean? Please don't think I'm being biased, because like I said, with the Jack, yeah, 100% believe EQ on that one. I don't believe Bradley. Like I say, when I say I don't believe him, all I'm saying is no evidence. So I don't know. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm always going to have a but there.
Thanks for that.
But, you know, it comes to a point where she's attacked continually. And people throw shade at it. Oh, it's you. You know, you're the abuser. You're the abuser. Surely this proves with the Rickster thing, she has been coming back at people. But I've said it before. If you poke at Evil Queen, she will go savage on you.
But how can you call her the victim when how can you call her the victim when she's also going at Rickster? Now, I would definitely say, okay.
Yeah, they go at each other. Yeah, but, you know, to actually... like turn up at her bloody doorstep, that is, to me, that is solid proof that he is the abuser.
And why cover his hand when he went for the door handle?
And why was the other guy wearing black gloves? Come on, people, get real. Get real. He would have had.
Evil Queen has said numerous times in the past, leave me alone, I'll leave you alone. And he continually on his lives baits her, goes for her. He's got hang on, he's not only gone for Evil Queen, he's gone for like Minx, EQ Minx. He went for that Cabbage. I know we have nothing to do with her now, but he went for her. He's gone for numerous other women.
I get what you're saying.
And it doesn't matter.
I get what you're saying.
And it doesn't matter what
I get
people
what you're
think.
saying. I get what you're saying, but the thing is, right, you know, she did go onto that KJ's live and called him an abuser. You know, she's saying she gets, you know, I'm not going to go back at him. But then now this has come out, you know, that he's been called an abuser. I'm not siding with Victor. I'm not siding with anyone. I'm just saying.
She's called him an abuser. He's called her a paedophile. Come on, you know.
Yeah, but
that's the way that he told
Sam's mum was even in his live saying, please leave us out of it. We're not, you know, she said, no, you know, Evil Queen never slept in the same bed as my son, but yet Rickster's still going on and on and on.
And if you look on his phone, when he goes through his phone, it's all pictures of EQ.
Yeah, when he's put his phone up, he pull up his thing and it says all his profiles, Rickster, and then there was that TikTok beef one. That's him.
But I believe
that was his account. He's got troll accounts.
What would have happened if she opened that door? Do you think?
I just believe it's going back and forth. It's, you know, I don't think anyone's going to...
There's going back and forth and words, but then there's turning up at a person's address.
He has
and the minute it's about EQ, you're saying it's not Rickster, it's not Rickster.
Yeah, put it this way, if Evil Queen had turned up at Talia's door, this app would have been in uproar.
Oh, too right.
Listen,
Yeah.
I've said it from the start, though, Eva Savage. No one should be turning over people's doors. I've said it from the first time.
100%.
No one should be doing that because it should be left onto the app. It's an app.
And Angie,
It's said on here.
it shouldn't have happened to you.
But
It shouldn't have
however,
happened.
when that happened to me, people were saying, "Oh, you've got to be careful in social media. You that's karma." People were saying to me,
But that was a girl.
"It doesn't
This is
matter. It
two
doesn't matter.
men.
Lily,
This
it does
is
not
two men.
matter." Listen, Lily. Okay, yes, it makes it look
Turning
worse.
my mic
Well,
off.
then stop over talking me then. Yeah, I understand you, men, it is a lot worse. I get it. However, people were saying to me, it's karma. You be careful what you're saying. Shouldn't say what you're saying on TikTok then. Are we going to say the same then? Well, be careful
But
what
this isn't about you.
This was actually off TikTok
Not
as well,
about
their
you.
relationship.
Oh,
He's
I'm
saying he
not
only met her
living
twice.
in
We heard him in the background when they were in a hotel room in Birmingham. Chelsea Liart rang Evil Queen and they were in the hotel together.
Right.
In the hotel room.
Because you heard him through her phone that they was in the room together. How do you know that it weren't him on another phone?
Because you can tell, you know when someone's on another phone, the sound is totally different. And he was laughing along with it, you know. They met in Birmingham and they were in a hotel room together. He's made her feel like everything's all in her head and it isn't. It's obvious there was a relationship there. We've heard the voice recordings where he's saying, I love you and stuff. Don't do this to me, you're fucking me up and stuff like that. I actually love you. You know, you can't deny what you've heard and seen.
I actually got all guys a question, right? Because this is what people were saying when people turned up at my house, right? Is, you know, then you shouldn't say what you're saying on TikTok. You shouldn't be, you know, push. If you're going to push someone to the edge, then obviously they have a right to turn up at your house, right? That's what, now that's not you guys, but that's what I heard a lot of. So are we going to say...
Yeah, well, those sort of people shouldn't have an opinion. They shouldn't be on TikTok because anybody turning up at anybody's house is disgusting.
Angie, can I just ask a question, please?
Hello, yes.
When Talia come to your house with her sisters, did you feel threatened?
Yeah, well, I didn't know who it was, her at first, but yes.
And you thought one of them was a male?
I thought that at the time, yes.
And did you contact the police?
I think it was my mum because we just got people. I thought it was trolls at the store. I was thinking, who the hell is that? We did because we didn't have the camera at the time. You see, so
yeah. But you agreed, regardless of the back and forth between you and Talia at the time.
Yeah. Oh, she's gone.
Come to your property.
Say that again. Sorry.
Sorry, you agree, regardless of the back and forth that you and Talia had on the app at the time, it wasn't right for her to come to your property.
100%, yes.
Right, and it's the same with
I'm just saying what other people were saying to me. That's all.
Yeah, no, I completely understand, but it's not right, and it is different that it is a man. It is different. Yeah. And she is on her own.
Well, I thought it was a man. I was going crazy. I
understand that. But you are now friends with Talia, or you having a relationship with her. But what about what they've done to Lynn's?
Hi Angie, would you like me to send you from the observers when she came to your door and I defended you massively and said how wrong it was and exposed it?
What's wrong, EQ? Yes, I said it.
I'm just saying you bringing me into the situation about saying it was all right for Talia. I never said that, and I can show you. I found the footage. Do you want it?
Yeah. EQ, I wasn't actually talking about you. I was talking about people.
Because I think everyone thinks you're talking about me, but I'd always in that situation with these particular people because of obviously my personal experiences. And you've got to remember the differences. Like you're saying, they've had it backwards. We've never had it backwards and forwards. My job on social media for 16 years has been invaded by my abuser. If your abuser fired a live up now, Angie, and then persecuted for 2 years, 3 years, you'd be fucking up the wall by now. So all that's happening here is that I've been on social media for 16 years. He infiltrated my life, extorted money from me, pretended to be in a relationship with me, and that was meant to be the end of that. You know what I mean? Go away, see you later. And he has not stopped, and now he sits there on a platform using my name constantly. So I never have a backwards and forwards with me abuser. It's just when he's calling me a paedophile, I have to speak on it because then I get told, well, why aren't you speaking? It must be true then. So it's a very difficult situation for me to be in because I can't just go offline. It's how I pay my bills. He doesn't pay his bills with it. He just sits there and does it for blood sport because it's my abuser. And I don't need to be believed by anybody. Enough people do. So that's all I want to point out. is that my abuser turned up at my doorstep. You know, there's no backwards and forwards, there's no to and fro. It's my abuser, and he creates slanderous lies about me, which could ruin my actual life. So I have to speak out about it sometimes. But do I want to speak to him ever again? No, they just don't leave me alone. But I'm not speaking any longer on this. I have to go. Goodbye.
Did she stand up here to all people?
I was
Look
just
after
going to ask
yourself,
how
Chelsea.
she feels, because you know it's not nice if she feels kind of a little bit anxious about going outside of her house now. You know, 'cause no one should feel, everyone should feel safe in the house, right?
I
Everyone
think
should
if
feel
you
safe.
had two men banging at your door, it's always going to make you feel anxious to go outside your house. It's not on at all.
Yeah, no, she should. Everyone should feel safe in their own home and to live.
Exactly, Angie. Yeah.
Yeah, and
It
like
wasn't
I said,
right
I've
what they
never
did to
said
you,
it was
and
right.
it's not right what they're doing now. It is an app, and this should not be brought to your home. You should feel safe at your own home.
Do you think though he felt he's been pushed? I mean, still don't.
I think there's been, as an FYP content page, I see a lot of drama, and there's a lot of tit for tat going both ways. But you should not then bring it off the app and intimidate people at their own houses. No way.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've always said that was not okay. Do you know what I mean? I've always said that from the
No,
beginning.
and you've had the same thing, and it's not on. It's disgusting.
Yes, no one should be taking anything off the app. But that's why I was wondering how people feel about someone being pushed, or someone saying, "Well, if you say whatever on TikTok, you're going to get it at your house." Do you know what I mean? Because some people do agree with it.
Yeah, I don't think anyone can ever agree with that. I think it's wrong. I think Rick's has just made himself look 10 times worse.
Yeah.
And not only did they go to EQ's home, they went to Levi's home as well.
Yeah, I don't know why he went to Levi's. I don't know. I didn't know there was a back and forth with him and Levi.
Coming up between Sophie and Talia, and it's probably got Rick.
Talia was making threats online last night to Sophie that her sisters were 20 minutes away from her property where she lives with her children.
Well, I just hope they stop talking on each other now, because it has gone too far. And did we not say this is going to end badly? We all said it's going to end badly, man. So people need to just stop. I think like Sophie and EQ, just stop talking on each other and just do the daily FYP, because it's getting out of hand, isn't it? What's going to happen next?
Evil Queen has asked them multiple times, stop talking on me, and I'll stop talking on you. And she did. She stopped, and then they started again with all this paedophile rubbish. They've been found that they have contacted her exes. It's out of hand.
Yeah, I just think people just need to stop. I'm doing FYP here, but they need to, when they do the FYP tonight, stop talking on each other. Do you know what I mean? Just do it. If they're on the FYP, yes, talk on it, but don't talk about sensitive subjects. Move on, innit?
Rickster doesn't do FYP. Rickster just solely bases it on EQ. He doesn't have a platform without talking about EQ.
Precisely.
Night after night, he's there talking about EQ.
He's relentless. He doesn't stop. And my biggest thing, I haven't followed EQ until recently, and I'm no way biased at all. I watch the FYP and I see clips and I see how quickly things on this app are manipulated. And I've sat in her lives and I now follow her and I now support her. And the problem is, when people watch snippets and it's manipulated, any storyline can be made to fit. It isn't the case. If people actually sat and watched the things get debunked properly, you'd see the bigger picture. But everybody's just quick to jump on things, and you've got Rickster and Talia bringing things up from years ago, when most creators on here have things from the past, but nobody's going at them every day, bringing things up from 5 years ago, 3 years ago. It's the relentless with her.
Yeah, I just don't think that, I think probably that was, bringing up KJ and all that. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what Sophie had said. I didn't watch it, to be honest. And, I don't know what was said there. I know she said a few things, about Talia, but I don't know. I just think people just need to stop. And there's also like Levi's mum, in it, which we've got to remember, because I went crazy because my mum lives there. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know how old she is, but that's another thing we've got to think about. Do you know what I mean? Is that she needs to feel safe in her house. I don't want to
Everyone needs to be safe in the house.
I just don't want to sit here and be a hypocrite because I went on about my mum. Do you know what I mean? That this is her house. She needs to feel safe. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, and it's nothing to do with his mum at the end of the day. Yeah, give me CLA anytime. It's crazy. Honestly, it's crazy. But do you think this is a warning? Just be careful what you say on TikTok. Do you think? Because TikTok it can be a dangerous place, man. I've been told it's more dangerous than the bloody dark web. I mean, who else is in the box?
I think it's so far you push a person at it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
I mean, it still doesn't. I don't think anyone
Like
should.
they both knew that they needed to stop. He knows he's just as bad for going there today. Do you know what I mean? He knows now that he may look the worse person if that's him. Do you know?
So now you agree that it was.
No, I'm just saying the
Rickster.
scenario. If it is him, what he feels today, he's going to know that he's now in the wrong and he's the worst and feels like the
Come on,
worst
guys.
person.
You
So it's
must
just
know.
like a back
Either
and
way.
forth thing between them. Like if he felt worse for the thing what she's just done, and he probably don't. But I don't know. Would you feel bad if
Can
you
I
done
just
that?
say though, evil Alice, you must have known when I said what I said. What I was trolling, right? I think it was quite clear. I think it was quite clear. Yeah, to be fair. Yeah, come on, guys. You know what I'm like. I just think because it was clear as day, wasn't it? His account's gone from TikTok. I don't know. Do you think he snapped?
There's only one way he gets in the box. And do you think she sounds really quiet and like at the end she sounded scared?
Someone's in the comments saying it's not funny, is it? Oh my god! I was just being sarcastic. Oh, these snowflakes. I was just being.
No, I get what you mean, Angie. It's not funny, but you're trying to lighten the mood a bit.
No, I was just being sarcastic because it was clear as day, wasn't it?
Yeah. Hopefully he just disappears from the app for a bit and comes back with a whole new personality because he needs it.
Yeah, I had noticed that he has deactivated his main account this morning.
Has he? I think he did that last night. I just don't think it's either fair or the fear of people calling him an abuser. Oh, sorry, I don't think she knows she's in the box. I don't think it's fair being called an abuser either. Do you know what I mean? I'm not on anyone's side here. I'm just doing the bloody FYP. You know what I mean? Do I agree?
No, but Angie, to be
absolutely.
But Angie, to be fair, he's done exactly the same to EQ. He's called her names. She's called him names. It's tit for tat.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's got really a police case.
There's calling names, and then there's actually calling her a predator, which is disgraceful.
Yeah, of course.
And she has gone back at him, and I don't blame her one bit.
I do believe with Victor, it was an act between him and her. I don't believe they were ever in a relationship.
I do, you see. I saw the decline while she was with him. She lost that much weight. She looked poorly. Because he was picking her apart about her looks offline, coming on, and you could see she was paranoid about the way she was looking. You see, if you've been there since the start and seen, I watched it unfold, and there's no way. You can see recently she's losing weight again because of all the stress. People are saying, "Oh, she's aged." She hasn't aged. She's not well. It's making her poorly. I mean, getting the label paedophile slapped on you by most of the app is just daunting at the best.
But Evil, can I just say something? And I said it before, I don't agree with anyone being called that. Right, we need to think about what happened to Inquisitor, right? That's what happened to him. He was set up, called the P word, and he's not here anymore. So we've got to remember that. So no one should be calling anyone that word.
Exactly. I mean, Evil Queen said herself, she's pretty much a strong...
However, I've got to say this, if you talk sexually on a child, people are going to think that's what you are. You cannot blame people for saying that either if that's what you're going to come out with your mouth. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that...
She said put a nappy on your head. She didn't actually say, take the nappy off the child. Hang on a minute, duties as a nanny.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's what she is, but I can understand where people are coming from, where if you are talking about children in that way, people are going to come out with, that. Do you know what I mean? And I think, she just needs to stop doing it.
Hey, Ange. Be in the box. He might be on private.
No, it's not in the box, guys. Let me have a look. Guys, Bradley's not in here.
And all I want to say is,
is if somebody was online laughing and singing a song about my dead baby, I would be more than knocking a fucking door. And I think the same of us would have the same reaction if they think it's okay to laugh about a dead baby. I think the same of us would have the same
Sorry,
reaction.
Courtney, you're echoing. Yeah, carry on.
You know, a lot of people is going to have the same reaction if they have got somebody laughing and joking about a dead baby. There'll be a lot of people.
So in that case, do you agree with Levi being, you know, because he got a knock at the door, even though it's not Levi, it was his
I
girlfriend.
don't know why they went to Levi's, to be honest, but then I think, Angie, some of it is set up.
No, I don't think it was set up.
Because, like, do you know the way that
His
Corey...
mum answered that door. He said that his mum answered the door, so I don't think so.
No, but you know the fact people like Corey, the Queen misread, I think most of that is set up.
Yeah,
1 minute
really
they get each other, then they're best friends, and I do think a lot
My
of it is
question is
set
to
up.
you, then I'm the problem, right? Let me ask you this question, right? So I don't know why Levi got a knock on the door. I don't know what he had said, but I assume it's something Sophie said, because Sophie went on about the miscarriage, right?
Yes.
So do you think that he deserves that knock on the door then? Because you know you...
No, they shouldn't.
But once
Nobody should go
once
for
I
anything
just finished, you did say that you did say if that was someone knocking me, I would do more than knock at the door. So my question to you is, do you think Sophie deserves a knock at the door?
She didn't make fun of a dead baby, though, did she?
No, she said it really didn't happen. She was saying it didn't happen.
Saying didn't happen and then singing songs about dead baby is different, though, isn't it? You know, so people can have their opinions on it, thinking they can say what they think. But then you've got the difference of people's opinion to singing a song and laughing about a dead baby. Then, you know, you've got certain things you can
You know
do.
what,
But then
though? I don't think it's right? Absolutely. And I said it myself, right? But anyway, me and Tally are okay now. So, but however, I'm not going to talk on me. I don't think it's right anyone mocking it. But do you not think we could deal with it on the app than coming to people's houses? Because
yes, I do think
where do you draw the line?
Go to
You know,
people's houses.
once that guy in the where do you draw the line? What if someone calls you a peddler? Are you going to say, well, I have every much reason to go knock at the door? Or if you called, as someone says, I'm going to call social services on your kids. I'm not saying that's right, but people do say it. They can say, yeah, that's right to knock on that person's door. Do you know what I mean? When does it stop?
Certain things, most things should be kept just on the app.
Yeah, do you think we can maybe deal with it?
When it comes to kids, I think when it comes to kids, your emotions just go over things. You don't think. You think is more thing when kids come involved. You know, sometimes people do overreact, especially when it's kids. They're like, no, you don't speak about my kids and whatever. Do you know what I mean? But things should be kept on the app. Not, you know, shouldn't go to people's houses. But in my opinion, if somebody done that to my baby, I would get angry.
Yeah, but I'm the problem. Here's another one where someone's put in the comment, what about animals? When, you know, you see someone that's, you know, they're an abuser of animals. Do we go knock on people's door for that? So, you know, where does it stop? You know, it could be, what about abuse, or someone's treating a child, or, you know, obviously call social services on that one. But, you know what I mean? There's so many things that people do on the set. Are we just going to say every time people have words or arguments, well, we can just go knock?
Why does this woman here think the start point is the bye-bye baby? The start point's 2 years ago. I've just told you I was in an abusive relationship with him and he's persecuted me since. When are you going to understand? He didn't come to the door about bye-bye baby. I was still in the bungalow. He never showed up about that at all. So stop trying to take it back to, oh, it's all about the baby loss. No, he's abused me for 2 years prior. If you haven't watched for that amount of time or you knew, well, just don't even comment on it. You can't say the start point was if somebody mocked I didn't mock any baby. They said I killed that baby. So I reacted and responded through that, all right? So I'm not answering him a question, but stop chatting shit. This is why you'll never be valid in these boxes any years, because you chat shit.
100% Queenie.
Even Queen, you chat shit on a regular basis.
And they told her she killed that baby. Putting that on someone's head is disgusting.
No matter what, any other people's opinion is, you can have one side saying you're wrong, one side you're saying you're right. And then sometimes if you have opinion, you're in the wrong anyway. So no matter
what I think, guys, you know what I think here, right? I think people need to deal with things differently. Like, words are just words. Yes, words hurt. Yes, we say that we all say the most horrible things to hurt someone at times. Yeah, but the bottom line is, I think it should be dealt differently on an app. And I do feel if you are affected or triggered by what someone says to you, and it could be really low. Yeah, you come off the app and you take time for yourself, and then you come back on the app when you're feeling a bit better. But I think the bottom line is, I don't think anybody really should be going to people's houses, because you don't know if there's kids there, families there. You don't know who's there. Do you know what I mean? And I think with your house, this is your safe haven. Do you know what I mean? This is a place where you should always feel safe. You should always feel safe at leaving the house. You know, I think it should be dealt differently on the app. You know what I mean? Regardless of what it is to do with. Do you know what I mean? Whatever it is, it should be probably kept on the app, to be fair, you know. But however, I do understand that as well, that, you know, Rickster probably has been pushed, but still, you know, we can't say that's still right. You know what I mean?
He's pushed back she's pushing back at what he said and done.
Yeah. Yeah,
you
well,
know, like she just said, to say that someone killed their unborn child, that is disgraceful. To come onto an app, bring that onto an app.
Yeah.
You know, and as for playing the song, you played it as well, Angie, because you at the time didn't believe them. Whether you do now or no, you know, that's up to you. But
yeah, I mean,
to be honest, I think
it's not in the box, guys. Sorry.
I think they used, well, Ricky for a start used that to get at Evil Queen. Used the loss of his own child to get at Evil Queen. You know, making Talia do films from a hospital bed. The woman was mourning for a start.
Yeah, but to be fair, you know, you're saying he's using it. He could really feel that way. Do you know what I mean? You don't know. He might really feel that way. I mean, I'm not saying it's because of EQ, but he could be feeling that way.
They brought the stress and everything on themselves. If she was stressed, leave the app alone, Ricky. You know what I mean? Give her time to rest. Give her time, you know, to recover from it. He was the one coming on night after night. He brought Talia into it.
Yeah,
I agree.
Does anyone support EQ, Rickster here? Like, I'm just playing devil's advocate. Yeah, I'm just doing the FYP. I'm not on anyone's side. But does anyone support? Anyone support Rickster and actually, you know, believe a lot of the things that have been said about him are lies? Because if you want, get in the box. I just want to make it fair. I mean, who else is in it affected? Hiya.
Hi, Ange. My take on it is, if you're going to give it online, then expect consequences, because at the end of the day, you want to give it all the mouth online, and someone's going to turn up at your house. It's just that simple.
So you would be happy if two blokes turned up at your door and tried to get in?
Yeah, but it's an app. But the things they're saying,
it's not an app. When it's took off the app and they turn up on your doorstep, that is not, you know, that is not right.
Well, if someone was saying awful stuff about me, then I'd probably turn up at their doorstep. Yeah.
But he's gone day after day after day. It's not his job. EQ's been on the platform or social media for 15 years. It's her income. Rickster, if he was that concerned about Talia and he was mourning the loss of his child, which I'm not disputing, then take some time off. Protect your girlfriend. Take time off the app. Leave it. She's nothing to say then. There isn't a back and forth.
You could say the same to EQ. You could say, stop retaliating to Rickster.
She's told him to stay, like, not mention her name. She said, you leave me alone, I will leave you alone. And she did that. And then he come back again.
She should be the bigger person and just leave it.
She was being called a predator, for God's sake. You are not going to just leave it. Ricky's problem is he is ashamed for some reason of being with a trans person. That is disgraceful. She is female. If he's looking at it like that, then he shouldn't have ever gone near her.
Do you know the ways you keep saying, if you're saying stuff online, why have none of you turned up before then? None of you. It's only Rickster, my abuser, who's turned up. So if I've offended all you that much, you knew it was at the bungalow. You knew it was the flat for 7 years, but none of you turned up because you're all shitbags and I haven't offended anybody. That's my abuser. End of story, my darling. And if you want to show up, why don't you? Goodbye.
I've got no reason to show up. You haven't offended me. I'm saying, with the situation with Rickster, you need to stop with the back and forth. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. I really do agree. And, you know, I think people just need to, when they do the FYP, well, especially like EQ, it's just to not speak on him. He's deactivated his account. Probably the best thing to do. Have a break. I think, because they are still grieving, aren't they? Have a break off the app and then come back when he's, a lot stronger. And
I think another issue though is that other FYP creators seem to get support from everybody else, and when people go at EQ, it's selective outrage again. She doesn't get the support from them. They don't speak on it. So she's fighting it on her own from her point of view. Nobody else speaks on situations where if it was another FYP host, then they would speak on it.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop Andrew. Thanks for letting me in the box. Thank you. And just by the way, Tali was trying to get evidence on Linz yesterday in your comments. That's your friend Linz. Tali was in your comments yesterday trying to get videos of Linz off Facebook sent to her of her shouting at a child. That's your friend.
I didn't even see the comments. No one even said anything to me about that.
Yeah, it's wrong. Talia's not innocent. Rickster's not innocent, and I think he's just trying to build a platform on the back of EQ. That's my personal
Here's Aunt
opinion.
Sally. Hi, Aunt Sally. Did you try and get in the box earlier, Aunt Sally? Oh, gosh. Let's see what else is in the box anyway. Hello.
Hi, hey, you okay?
Yeah, fine, thank you. All right.
Yeah, I'm good. I think you was going to give that poor lady a heart attack earlier, telling her that you didn't believe it was Rickster. I just want to point at the bit where everybody's laughing at Levi's mum going to the door. I've got 6 boys, and believe me, if any man or woman was coming after my son, any of them, I'd be the first one at that front door.
Ditto, I would. I've got 4 girls. If anyone come after them, believe me, I'll be in front of them all.
Yeah,
I'm not sticking up for anybody,
My mum doesn't open the door, and that's sad because she should feel free to open that door. But because
In your defence, though, Andrew, your mum's a lot older,
because there's been so many threats and things, she was like, "Oh, the door." And it shouldn't be that way, Hi, Aunt Sally.
Hi, Ange. I'm just trying to come on. Where am I? Oh, hang on. I'm just trying to get my face on. Oh, yeah. Hang on. No makeup, nothing. What you see is what you get. No filters.
Oh, you're right, Aunt Sally.
Right, my darlings. You see, when things like this happen, you can bet your life Aunt Sally always gets the abuse in the, in the private messages. It's not so bad now as it used to be.
Oh, no one should be sending you hateful messages, Sally.
Any time there's a problem with Rickster or anyone, honestly, I've had a dog's life.
Right, Aunt Sally, if there's anyone that sends you hate, can you let me know so I can block them, please? I don't want anyone on here if they
But
do.
anyway, I've come in to say, I certainly, and Rickster, I know he's listening, and I know Tally's listening, and they know me, I'll always be honest about everything. That was wrong and bang out of order to have gone to a woman's house last night. And Rickster, I love you, but you know the men in our family don't behave like that. They do not go after women, and they wouldn't be going to give them a belting. And tell you, I don't want to hear anything from you, raging and shouting. I'm speaking my mind, I'm speaking my truth, love, and I'm giving my honest opinion. I do love Ricky, he's my family, I'd stand by him to the ground, but what he did last night was bang out of order and shocked me, absolutely shocked me that our Ricky went to the door of a woman. What would have happened if that door had opened, Rick? At the end of the day, that's a woman. And you went after a woman. I don't care what woman it is. I don't care who it is. I will not agree with that.
Respect to you, Aunt Sally. Respect.
Yeah, anyone that's hating on Aunt Sally, stop it, because it's disgusting that you're doing that, okay? You will be
just because she's related to him, it doesn't mean that she stands by what he's done.
I don't mean I stand by behaviours like that, especially I'll turn against my own brothers, my own family for it. I wouldn't have it. And I will not have any man going to the door to attack any woman in the world. It's called DV. And me, personally, they'd have been in jail now.
Yeah, big respect.
And that's from his own auntie.
And
Big
I don't
respect
care
to
how
her.
people feel about it. I will always speak my truth on it. I am a woman of God. And I just speak my truth. I can't lie before God.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was shocked. I was like, no, this isn't like him. I've never seen him behave like this before.
Can I ask you a question, Aunt Sally? Do you think that Rick's has snapped though because of what because he's still grieving, isn't he?
Don't take me wrong. I'm not taking the other person's part. I've got no reason to. I've never had a bad word with her. But for some reason, she's never liked me. And the reason I was told at the very beginning is because I'm the bloodline of Rickster. But I've never had any fallout with that lady at all. I don't get involved in any way. But I do think that she carries it on as well. I think the two of them have carried this on far too long. It's gone into years now. It's an obsessive behaviour, an obsessive compulsive behaviour from the two of them. And if I was Talia, I'd be losing my head if that was my man. I love you, Rick, but I'm going to say it. I'd be losing my head because I'd be saying, why are you still even allowing her to affect you like that? You are my man, in love with me. Anything that comes out of Iku's mouth shouldn't be bothering you today. Why are you responding to it? The only way for this to stop is to stop responding. Sorry, whoever
But Aunt
was...
Sally, Evil Queen has said it numerous times, like I've said before. She's asked him, stop talking on me, I'll stop talking on you. And it does go quiet every now and then for a while, and then he comes back.
Yeah, but it takes one person to be the bigger person and to just stop, and then maybe it will stop.
Yeah,
She has, and he's carried it on.
going to carry on a little while with it, but suddenly, if I'm say me and Angie are in an argument, and every time we meet, it kicks off again. If I keep ignoring Angie, or Angie just keeps dismissing what I'm saying as though I haven't spoken, then eventually I'm going to shut up because I'm wasting my time. She's not giving me what I want. She's not feeding into the attention I want. Now, it makes people think, are they doing it? Is it a money-making spin? Or I don't think so with these two, though. Or
I don't think so, because they don't really earn a great lot on TikTok,
I
to be
will
fair.
get slagged over this now, but I don't care. I might be an old girl, but I ain't a silly old fool. And that's how I feel, guys. What happened last night was wrong. I would say it to him. He knows I would. I love him to death, and I know he loves me to death. But at the end of the day, I've got to say when right's right and wrong's wrong. Shouldn't have gone to the door, son. You should have never gone to the door of a woman. Why did you do that, son? You've put up with it for years and you've never gone near the woman's door. What would you have done if she'd have opened it? And not just you, there was 3 of you. Sorry, son, I'm upset. I'm upset with it. Because it's not like you, Bab. You've never been reared that way. The men in our family are all fighters and boxers. You know, they wouldn't be behaving like that. They wouldn't be going for a woman. It'd be woman to woman, man to man. No, I don't believe in any fighting today, anyone.
You know what, Aunt Sally? I think Rickster that probably just needs, because, he's gone through a lot, hasn't he? You know what I mean? Have a little break off TikTok. And
He has. He did. He's gone through hell on earth that people don't know about, and I'm not defending him. It was just so out of character. Look, I know he's been one of the biggest rogues on here, don't get me wrong. I know he can start a lot of hassle. It can also be one of the funniest buggers on here. And when he's trying to be sensible and he does his little, is it FYP or whatever, it can be interesting and charming to listen to. And it's sad, really, because he can't be given a chance because he acted like a dickhead for so many years that people don't trust to give him that chance to change, which is sad. But at the end of the day, what happened yesterday? No. Sorry, Aunt Sally will not accept that.
The thing is, Rickster could have built another platform after his break. He could have come back. He could have built his platform being funny, having a laugh. But he's consistently, from day one, gone for Evil Queen.
Yeah, and as you say, she goes back at him or she'll say something and spark him off. And
Well, then he shouldn't be watching her. They need to separate.
This
He
is the
needs
point
to
I'm
leave her name out of his mouth now. Just take a break from the app.
You know what,
Both
though,
him and
Eagle?
Talia need
but
to.
Eagle Queen needs to do the same.
Yeah, I was just going to say then, they both need to do the same.
Eagle
It's not just
Queen needs
Rickster
to
and
do the
Queen.
same.
Both
Yeah.
need to do the same, exactly.
She did though.
I
Come on,
can
Ange.
hear
You know
you
she did.
ringing,
She
love,
didn't
but I'm not
mention Ricky for a
answering yet
long
because I'm
time.
not in
You
the
shouldn't
mood
clap,
for the
don't clap
fight.
back though. Don't clap back like Aunt Sally was saying. Don't.
It's hard not to clap back though. I'm the
Oh, I
sort of
know that,
person
yeah,
that
I
I'll
know.
clap back every time.
Aunt
It
Sally, are
is
you
hard.
okay?
What?
Are you okay, Aunt Sally?
Yeah, I was just telling you it's pointless ringing me right now because I'm not in the mood for a row.
Yeah, you seem
I'm
a bit
speaking my
shaky.
truth.
Have a drink
Aunt
of...
Sally, turn your phone off. Just chill out for a
She
little
might be
bit. If
being
anyone
nice, you know what I
starts on
mean?
you, let me know.
She might not be horrible. I'm just not in the mood
Yeah.
for it. And I'm not going to say things to people, please, about anyone. I'll always be honest on here. I don't agree with it, and that's the end of the matter. That doesn't mean I don't love him and I wouldn't stand by him.
No one's questioning that you don't love him. We know you do, but you have come up and you've said your bit, and I respect you for that. I massively respect you for that.
And he knows, being a Christian as I am, I can't come up here and tell a blatant lie because God
No.
hears everything. My Lord Jesus hears everything.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, just last, what you going to do if the door opens, Rickster? I was like, come on.
That was my worry. If that door had been open, what would have happened?
I do know, though, we say, like, he should leave it alone, but so should EQ.
Yeah.
So should EQ be quiet now. She needs to stop her. It's goading. At times, she knows what he's like. She knows he's explosive. I'm not making excuses for him, but stop goading. Stop the goading and act like a pair of adults.
Sally. Do you know it's never got as bad as this because he accused me of being a pedo for 3 months. It would never have got like this. We had to backwards and forwards after he says this about me or whatever, now it's up, but then he upped the gears and he really wanted to finish me off that much that he sat there. You were in the lives. That's why I went mad about you the other day, because you were like, yeah, she wants to be you. I don't want to be her, and you're encouraging that type of behaviour, Sally. That's what was making me mad, because I want rid of him. So it was only the serious allegation of being a groomer. He said it every day, you know this, every single night. So that I had to clear my name, and that's all I did. So it's never got this bad. And I do shut up about him, and I do ignore things, but this was a serious real life allegation, you know what I mean? That's why it's got so bad.
And it's a bad one, and I know for a fact it's a lie.
And wouldn't one of your sons move heaven and earth to prove their name if it was on their name?
Absolutely.
And that's all I've done, so I just want to be left alone. And I couldn't believe he turned up. I'm like, wow, he's known me address so many times and never done that. Why has he done it now?
Hang on a minute, I just need to turn it up. You've gone quiet.
I'm just saying, he's known me address. He's known me address for years. He knew at the flat, he knew at the bungalow, and he's never done that. Even after everything, he never came. And then all of a sudden, he turns up with that man with gloves on. And I think the same as you. I think he would be that angry that he could unalive me. You know what I mean? And it's not good to get that angry. He just needs to leave me alone, and that'll be the end of it.
I think, even if you could play a little part in this, if you
I'll say nothing from this day out, and you'll see for yourself.
Yeah, if you could ignore that, I do see. I'm not blind, love. I do see.
Yeah, well, I'll say no more, Aunt Sally, because you're here. Yeah, there we go. So you can be the watcher,
If it
sort of thing.
doesn't stop, because I do watch you, not for that.
Well, you'll see for yourself then, the Observer uploads everything, so I can't be lied about again. Now, as long as he doesn't make serious allegations towards me and carry on with this groomer shit, then I don't need to mention him, but I'm not having that on my name, Aunt Sally.
Well, they're quite right.
And I'm very sorry to bring you into it. It's just like, you can imagine how angry I've been with this groomer rumours, you know what I mean?
Well, yes, I did.
Because me and you have a little on-off tiff sometimes, and we're all right, and you're a nice woman. And the fact that you've come up to do this is really nice, and that's the only reason I'm jumping back up to say to you, if you're saying you want everything to be left alone for both parties, then I'll agree to that, and you're the witness then.
Yeah, I am a witness to it, and I just think it's time it's time for peace. It's time for bygones to be bygones, and maybe that will never happen. But at one time, you two really, really got on and liked each other.
The box.
But it
Well,
probably
and
never happened,
Sally, you've got
love.
my words. There'll be no more mention from this moment out from me personally. But if anybody else posts anything, I can't be held responsible. I would say people, it's
No.
people. I can't be held responsible for anyone but me.
I know, love, and I'm only making a
Let's
suggestion.
mention the men that you sent to my
God.
door over the weekend.
Oh, here she is.
Right, I'm going.
Yeah.
See you
So
later.
no,
I'm
yes,
Sally.
because
I'm
you
Sally.
know,
You've got my
you
word,
know,
okay?
your
you
career
You've
is
got
know,
my
down,
word.
everybody, EQ sent men to my house over the weekend and my 8-year-old opened the door. Don't even go there, you lie. And Sally, shame on you because you knew that all along.
You leave
Shame
Sally
on
alone.
you.
Piss off. Can you knock her out?
Shame on you.
Sally, it's the
Leave
last thing
Sally
you say to
alone,
one
you
of these-
bitter, twisted little shit, Talia.
One at a time. You know what? I feel really uncomfortable, Aunt Sally, and I'll tell you why. Because at the end of the day, Rickster is still your nephew, and I just don't want people to be slating. I'm not defending Rickster here.
Yeah.
I don't think people should be coming up to slag Rickster off or anything like that. And I don't know if EQ should have been put in the box, to be honest, because it's not fair, Aunt Sally. Because this is
Why
still...
we're discussing EQ?
No,
She's
one
been
thing I have
nothing
not
but not.
finished evil. Yeah, because Aunt Sally is still his auntie.
Aunt,
I don't
and
think
I
it's right
still
for putting
love
certain
him
people in the
very
box.
much, but I have just given an opinion. I don't agree with him going to the house last night. It's totally not
evil.
His behaviours as a rule to go after a woman, to my knowledge. The men in our family, they're warriors. I don't mean that funny, but it's man to man. It's always been a rule growing up, woman to woman, and that's how he was reared. So I was
Aunt Sally, people
mortified.
going on in the comments. What I mean, I'm not defending Rickster. I'm just saying Aunt Sally is still his auntie, right? And she'll always
Yes, I
defend him.
hear
She doesn't
you.
defend what happened last night, but she'll always still defend him. She's their family, and I just don't want to put people in the boxes to be slagging EQ off. I'm not EQ off, sorry. Rickster off while we have her as auntie in the box. It's disrespectful. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because it's not going to stop me
Having my
loving
mum in the
him.
box and people jumping in having to go at me, it's not okay. He doesn't agree what happened last night, but I don't think people should be going in on Rickster while we have his family in the box. I'm just saying it looks disrespectful.
Thank you, Angie.
I'm just going to say,
truth.
I just want to say, God bless you, Aunt Sally, for trying to, get the peace out of this situation.
Yeah, and
I
I
can see
didn't
that's
want
all
to
you've
fight.
tried to do.
Well, yeah, and I didn't want to fight with Talia even then. It's just that when Tal comes in at times, she's got a bit of a temper and she don't listen. She comes in all guns blaring instead of waiting till someone stopped and then saying, this is how I feel about it, now you listen. But it's all guns blaring, and of course it triggers me, and I go into one, and then I'm as bad.
Well, I mean, you're not okay with me putting Tally because she's requesting the box again. Do you think it could be sorted, or should I just, because I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable?
I don't know, me and Talia haven't really got on well since last week, bless her, which has nothing to do with here. But
yeah,
I don't like explosive. I'm a little too old for it.
Yeah,
my son's a nurse, and he said the other day, after I got in that big row, because I'm 72, and after I got into that thing with Tal, wasn't Tal's fault, I was losing it, just as bad, you know. But I was palpitating a bit, and my son just went, Mum, you can have a stroke if you carry on with this. You're 72. I need you to calm down. I need you to pull away from people that give you anxiety on there. Anyone.
Oh, where's she gone?
Tell she needs to keep on a calm conversation.
Talking about to anyone, you forget you're 72, Mum, and you could have a stroke with it. And he's right, Henna. He's a nurse.
Need to have a calm conversation instead of getting.
Yeah, maybe it's something you can have a conversation with. Listen, it's none of my business, or no, it's no one else's business. But maybe
She ain't a bad girl, do you know what I mean?
On TikTok, maybe not on TikTok, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, there she came in to speak, but because it was angry, straight away I was on her. Instead of giving her a chance, do you know what I mean? I was on her to go away, and I lost it, you see. But,
And I'm okay with Talia. It's the only reason I'm not putting you in at the moment is because it's just going to be awkward, do you know what I mean?
We don't want any explosions. And
that's all it is, Talia.
You know, as I said, Talia ain't a bad girl, you know, and she's certainly probably the best thing that ever was in Rickster's life, you know, regarding Rickster. She's good for him. I don't see them a lot. I love him like a son. I had him here for 4.5 months. He's like one of my own. But if something's wrong, if it's you, I'd say out of order, Ange. If it was me, I would hope, and Ricky has told me before, if something's, sorry, Sally, I respect you, but you're not right this time. You know, we've got to be able to just say them things, haven't we? But I know that's so you shouldn't have said it live. Well, the whole thing's live anyway.
But you're also just helping him, though, Aunt Sally. Do you know
I'm
what I mean? You don't want to
trying.
see him to get into trouble, with, you know what I mean? So you're helping him as well.
Well, I'd have died if he got nicked last night because it could have been done with really serious charges. And I would have been really concerned if he'd have got locked up last night. And I'd have been more concerned. He didn't know what was in that house. There could have been anything to unalive someone.
Yeah, you're just
I was
saying
just
the things that
concerned
someone
for
would
him
care,
because he was so angry. He would have gone in all guns blazing. And please don't get me wrong, that lad can handle himself.
You're just saying something that someone that cares about you would say and advise you not to do that. The people that advise you to do it don't care about you.
Yeah, I'm not standing up saying, oh, he's a bad person. I'm saying he shouldn't have gone to the house. And wasn't it? It was a woman in the house. That's what, you know, whether it's EQ or thinking, I don't know, Mr. Magoo, an old person. There's children, old people, and women that coming from my walk of life. You don't attack or go for, and that's how Ricky's way of life. Do you know what I mean? He was raised that way. There's certain people you don't go for. If an old lady gets out of order like I did, you say, I'm not listening, and you hang up until it's all calmed down, then go back to it. You don't get into it.
I think, you know, Aunt Sally, and I can't speak for Rick or Talia, but, you know, they are still grieving, eh? So, you know, that must be really...
I mustn't forget that bit. I must not forget that Talia lost a baby, and I had two. One was taken from me because I was bleeding, and then they said I'd be dead in half an hour if they didn't get me to theatre quick and remove the baby. And then the next one I miscarried. And you do grieve.
Yeah.
And part of it, I meant to say that part the other day I realised Talia's head was gone.
I'm not saying that's an excuse. Everyone's going, no excuse, no. I'm not saying it as an excuse. I'm just saying some people can snap. You know, some people can just be pushed to the edge and snap. Well, that's all I'm saying.
You're right. She has got that grief. You know, and people, she was just carrying it. It's still a part of our body. We still feel for the loss of that child. I know because I've done it twice. So I know what she's going through. And they wanted that baby. So I have to remember that too, you know.
Aunt Sally, can I just applaud you because you stood on your morals, even though it was against a family member, and I applaud you for that.
Thank you.
It's nice to see somebody who actually stands on morals.
Thank you.
I know how hard that must have hurt you, but you're a woman.
Yeah, but I made it clear as well that I haven't come in here to attack our Ricky. Do you know what I mean? I've just come in here to be honest.
And that's why I felt awkward. That's why I didn't want
and you've
people on
gone
the bottom.
silent.
That's
Can
why-
anyone else hear her?
Hey, me?
Yeah, Reg, have you got your volume down?
Hang on, it's
I was
gone
just going to say, that's
silent.
why I didn't really want people coming in to attack Rick Store.
Just a minute, I'll work it out. If you keep talking, I'll be able to hear someone.
Sally in the box. Do you know what I mean, guys?
Oh, why's my sound gone off?
It's her nephew, but she still stood with what was right. But nobody has a right to slag off her nephew to her. We can have our own opinions, but she doesn't.
Annie, could you nod your head, Ange? If you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you nod? Right, I can't hear you. What do you think's wrong?
Turn your volume up. Do the volume sign, Edge, with your hand. Turn your volume. I don't know, turn the knob.
What's gone wrong, I wonder?
Don't know what's going on there.
Ricky, have you silenced me somehow?
Yeah, everyone else can hear you, right?
I've got you.
Oh, right.
The thing was turned down to nothing. What are you going to do with me?
I think people need to remember, though, because I know we've spoken about maybe on other platforms, is still remember that Aunt Sally is still family, you know, that's Rickster's auntie. So I don't think it's still okay for people to be, do you know what I mean? Getting Aunt Sally in their boxes and having a slagging match about Tally or Rickster, that's not okay. And that's why I didn't really want that to happen, you know?
I don't think it has happened on here,
No,
has it?
that hasn't happened. That's why I haven't put certain people in.
Yeah, because they would attack, and it's not fair. It's like Angela's family doing something and we attack Angie for it.
Yeah, and anyone that hates Aunt Sally for any reason will be blocked from my life, okay? Please do not send hate messages. You shouldn't be getting these messages. I think that's disgusting. What's
I
wrong?
remember the names, I'll send you the message next time, but
yeah, make sure you
just
know.
because I'm a relative, they give me dogs abuse. I say, don't you think it's disgusting what your Rickster did? I'm not answering you on anything to do with Rickster, and I will not run him down. I've made that clear before. I will say what's wrong is wrong, and the only reason it's come on live today is because it's all over the place since I switched the thing on this morning. So I'm just saying how I feel about it, and that's the end of it. But it's no good sending me these messages. But I'm not going to talk about him like that.
I just think, you know, there's no point saying he did this, Rickster did this, EQ did this. Forget it. It's just going to go round in circles. I think people need to, you know, like EQ and Rickster, stop talking on each other. And that's
it. I don't know where EQ's gone out the box, but she's never done nothing on me. She was just
Sorry. I was just saying, Aunt Sally, I think, you know, with people saying he EQ did this and Rickster did this, EQ did this, I don't think it matters anymore. It's just going around in circles.
They stir it up, don't they? They love the hassle because EQ is very straight what she says, and our Rickster's got a bad temper and he loses the head. And I think it's when, as well, things like it can bother our Rickster, right? He just loses it. But it's things like saying he's a midget, is this, is that. I'm 4'10". Luke's not tall, right? But Rickster is the tallest one. He's over
6'2", isn't he?
He's over 6'2". You met him?
Yeah, so he's about 6'2", I think.
Yeah, so you know he's not a midget. His hair, I've actually pulled the thing. I know where someone's had a hair transplant, because if you remember, my son came to Turkey with me and had a little bit of a hair transplant. We were telling you all on live, he was as well, because he ain't egotistical a lot like that. We were saying, a little bit of a hair transplant, the teeth are being done, having a laugh. So I don't see no, hair transplant.
Oh no, I might have to restart.